Most people think they need a huge audience to make money online. That's why they stay stuck, posting, waiting, and getting ignored. And even when they do get attention, it doesn't produce income. I'm going to show you the authority playbook that gets you to your first paying customers. You can do this all without a big following, without going viral, and without waiting to be ready. I went from sleeping on an airport floor to investing in over 200 companies and building multiple revenue streams because of one thing: authority. And I'm going to break down exactly how to build it from zero. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear offer, a way to get your first client, and a system that keeps working. This is not theory, this is not hype, this is practical and usable today. And stick around because something bigger is coming later in this video that you're not going to want to miss. So let me ask you this question. Are you posting right now but getting crickets? Are you watching other people in your lane win and you can't figure out exactly why? And do you know that you're capable but you're not earning? You might say to yourself, what do I even sell? Who would pay me money? And you might think to yourself, I'm not ready yet. The problem is there is a cost to staying stuck in this moment. The cost is lost time, lost income, and remaining invisible indefinitely. You're here because of two main reasons. And the good news is they can be remedied. You're here because you're confused, or you're here because you don't know your clear next step, or maybe both. The answer is authority. Authority is the foundation. Without authority, your offers don't convert into money. The content that you put out doesn't really matter. And sales feel hard, like you're on hard mode. With authority, people come in pre-sold on your offer. Trust is built even before you have a conversation with them, and everything becomes easier. So as I said, I used to be homeless. Just a few years ago, I was sleeping on the floor of the San Francisco airport. I had no big connections in my lane. I had no money, zero money, negative bank account, and I didn't have a place to live. I was trying to build a venture capital firm that would invest in underrepresented founders, but I had no audience for that firm, and I had no connections to big investors to make it happen. But then I used my lab framework. I didn't know that it was going to be the lab framework that I would develop later, but this is what I did. I learned. I called it becoming money. When you don't have money and you know that money attracts money, how do you get it? Well, you become it. You become money by learning, by getting as much information as you can, like you're doing right now. And then I learned about venture capital or whatever topic it is that you're interested in. And then I applied it, lab, L-A-B, learned, and then I applied it, and then I benefited from it. So the big unlock for me was becoming known within this industry. That was the problem. Nobody knew that I was going to be a venture capitalist. So they didn't know to trust me or to recognize me when I went up to them. So what did I do? I ended up writing a blog post while I was at that airport, and it went on to go viral. Now, that was one way. That didn't fix everything. I was still homeless after that. But it was one little touch point that I could point people to say, look, the words that I have, the content that I put out is interesting. I have a point of view. I was building my authority and I didn't even realize it yet. Over time, I started posting on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and I became more and more recognizable for my opinions and the things that I was doing. So people started to trust me in that work. Now, it wasn't just content. I also went out and did the work. So I worked with founders even before I had money to help them with different problems they had. So when I was ready to make an investment, those founders trusted me too. So it was in implementing and doing the work that you're going to teach about that makes you an authority. People started trusting me more. Opportunities opened up. I was able to raise a lot of money. And now I make a lot of money every single year from what I do to help entrepreneurs. This is a slightly different lane because I'm not talking to investors. I'm talking directly to entrepreneurs now. But here's the big takeaway for you. Everything followed building authority. So what does authority even mean? Authority simply means being the person people trust enough to pay. It doesn't mean you're the most famous or the smartest or the one with the biggest audience. It means you're the one people believe. Authority is when someone hears your name and associates you with a certain topic, or the opposite. They hear about a topic and associate it with you. Authority is when someone is willing to give you money, but they haven't even met you yet. So let's think about some people who have authority. I can think of a few right now. When I think about making millions of dollars, I think about Rachel Rodgers because she has a book called We Should All Be Millionaires, and she teaches thousands of entrepreneurs how to make their first million. When I think of AI, I think of a woman named Ashley Little because she has called herself the queen of AI, and she has gone on to teach thousands of people how to start using AI. Pause this video and think of a couple of people who you like and learn from, and think about what they're known for. What have they built their authority on? Here's what's very cool about authority. First of all, it shortens the sales process by a lot. It also raises the amount you can charge for your services or products. Authority helps you attract better clients that are more ideal for you. And it makes your content convert into sales instead of just getting views. Simply put, authority equals trust at scale. So how do you build authority from scratch? You build it by doing. First, you need to do something. You need to learn it, then apply it. That's where the doing comes in. You don't even have to spend money to do it. You just need to go out and do it. The second part is showing others what you know about it. Share your real results with others. So results you have had with it and results other people have had. And then the big part is repeating your message over and over again. I've talked about sleeping on the floor of an airport for the past 10 years, and I'll continue to, because it helps resonate. It helps connect me with people right away, even if they've never heard of me before. And then I talk about the lab framework. I've talked about that for the past year plus, and I'll continue to do so because it helps people. You want to do something, show people what you did, and then repeat. That's really it. Here's something that's really important that most people miss. You do not need permission to have authority. You don't get authority from credentials or graduating from something or from a title or from a role or even from testimonials. You build it by showing up for others, by helping other people, and by proving it over time and time again. Here's how you know if you've started to build authority. If somebody asks, who should I go to for X? And your name comes up, that's authority. Okay, so how do we start to build this authority with content? Remember, people are not going to necessarily buy from you immediately. There's a sequence that most buyers go through, and I want you to write this down. First, they discover you, like you may have discovered this video or me for the first time on YouTube. Then they watch you. They consume what you have to offer. Then, hopefully, they watch again. They need another touch point. Over time, they start to trust you. And then, from that trust, they act, they purchase. Authority builds from repeated exposure, consistent value, and visible results. Your trust starts to stack over time. And YouTube is a major way to do that. That's why I spend so much time talking about YouTube in my new book, Arlan's Authority Playbook. One thing you need to know is that people are not actively searching for you right now. What they are searching for are answers, solutions, and clarity. So your role is to be the person who has those answers for them. Your content strategy comes down to two main things: answer real questions and solve real problems. As simple as that. So the result from that is that people will naturally start to find you. YouTube is very good at helping people connect, helping people who are looking for something connect with the right person to give them that thing. Because it's in YouTube's best interest to have people on the site constantly watching more and more videos. So the YouTube algorithm is incredibly sophisticated and it's working in your favor. There are three types of content on YouTube. There's entertainment, edutainment, and education. What I want you to focus on is the education. This is how you build your authority. This type of content attracts real buyers who are intentional. It attracts serious people like you have been attracted to this video. That's the type of results you can get with your video. And when you start this YouTube or content journey, I want you to keep it as simple as possible. Don't worry about getting editing right now. And don't worry about being some type of performer where you have to be charismatic on screen. You do not. Clarity is more important than creativity in this moment. And yes, before you ask, you can do this faceless if you really want to. I would suggest to you that you do it with your face forward, showing who you are on the thumbnails, those pictures that come up on YouTube and in the video itself, because that's how you truly build authority. But if you want to start a little slower and share your screen, share some sort of presentation, walk people through a PDF or show people a website, you can do that too. A lot of people think they don't have time to create content. And I'm going to help you reframe that in your mind, because this could be the most important thing that you do for your business, is to actually carve out a great amount of time to work on content. Why? It's the most leveraged thing you can do. Once you have your offer and you're trying to sell it, getting people to see it is the most important thing you could do. So your content creation is actually what you should spend your time on. What happens is people waste a lot of time with content creation, so they feel like it is a waste of time. So how do we fix that? Two big ways are to batch your content and to use AI support. So what I mean by batching is if you're going to make a video on YouTube and you're going to put one out every week, instead of recording it once a week, doing all the process, researching it, getting it ready, and then putting it out there, what if you were to record 2 or 3 videos in the same day? That way you have 2 to 3 weeks worth of content in advance. And it doesn't feel like you're on this constant hamster wheel where you never get a break. You could do this every couple of weeks instead of every week, but still have content that goes out each week. You can schedule the content, or you can put the content live in real time so you can pay attention to the statistics. Another thing is that AI support I mentioned. AI is moving in leaps and bounds, and there are multiple ways to work with AI to help you save time, get more organized, and do things that would have taken weeks or even months in the past in one day. For instance, you can take one long form video that's like 8 to 20 minutes long, and you put it up for the week. You can put it into something called Opus Clip, and you just paste the URL, press a couple of buttons, and 10 minutes later, you'll have 10 to 20 video clips that are vertical that you can put on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn vertical. You can make them shorts on YouTube and more. And you did all that from one video that you recorded and AI. I don't want you running out to get expensive equipment or booking a studio or anything like that that you probably think you need to have a great YouTube channel. The production quality does not matter at this point. What matters is that people can hear you and they can understand what you're saying. Here's what matters when it comes to YouTube. And I should know I've gained more than 200,000 subscribers in just a couple of years. And I've done it this way. So what matters is clarity, usefulness, and consistency. In other words, do you help people find what they need on YouTube? Simple works in this case. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what I mean. As I said, I have more than 200,000 subscribers, but sometimes I get views that are much lower than that. I might get a video that has 1,000 views or 2,000 views, but that video will make me money. It makes me money in a couple of ways. One way is through AdSense. So Google owns YouTube. It pays people to YouTube. If you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you get paid by the view, which is very cool. I make an extra $10,000 per month on average. Very cool. But what I really make the money from a 1,000 or 2,000 view video is not from AdSense, where I might make $20 or $50. I actually make the money because I'm talking about some sort of product. I'm helping in the video. I'm solving a problem for someone, and then I have something to offer them in the video, in the description, in the pinned comment. So I've had a video that has had 2,000 views make me $20,000. Another great example is my friend Patrice Moore. So Patrice is a copywriter, and she teaches other people how to make copy words for their school memberships. She teaches them other things too, like growth and other things, but she has a high ticket offer. Take a look at her channel. She does not get a ton of views and she doesn't have a ton of subscribers, but she continues to make these videos because she makes sales from them. So think about it. You have a video that has 100 or 200 views. Of those views, let's say 10% of them are the right type of people for your product and they want your product. They go to your sales page or to your video sales letter VSL or to some sort of freebie that you give them or even book a call with you. And then one of those buys something that costs $1,500 to $10,000. You can see how it makes a lot of sense to make video after video after video if each video is bringing you an average of one high-paying client. Patrice does a really good job of this. And you'll notice she doesn't use a lot of crazy production. She just sets up her camera and she talks into it. In fact, I think she's doing it from her phone. Now, a few months ago, I noticed that Patrice had a great video, but I couldn't quite hear her well enough. So I suggested to her that she get a mic. So you'll see now she has a little mic on when she talks so you can actually hear what she has to say clearly. It's really helped things. But other than that, no big production. Another example is a guy named Nicholas Cole. Now, you'll see Nicholas's videos. They have mostly under 1,000 views. Some of them have had breakouts, but they have mostly under 1,000 views. And he is another copywriter. He teaches people how to write, how to ghostwrite. And he has even higher ticket items. So he has some cohorts that cost a few $100s, and then he has things that cost up to 20 or 30,000 per year. He does the same thing. He opens up his book, his MacBook or his phone, and he presses record and he just walks you through things. Sometimes he'll share his screen and tell you how his company is doing that month or the previous year. And it's very, very slow and methodical, and it has nothing to do with like high, crazy production, which he can afford to do, by the way. He could afford to get this crazy production for himself, but he doesn't. There's one thing I noticed about him. He and his co-founder, Dickie, spent $100,000 about 2 or 3 years ago on a big studio to film videos in. And what I've noticed is they used it maybe for 3 months and they've never used it again. I think they even moved cities. So they both travel, they're everywhere, and they both make content. And they've had their best years ever, spending less money. Because what they figured out, I have to imagine, is that all that really matters is what's in the video, not necessarily if it has a huge production value or if it has a studio behind them that costs 6 figures. There's another example called Clear Value Tax. You may have seen this. Now, this guy even does thumbnails differently than I would ever teach somebody to do it. It's always just a screenshot of him in a blue shirt with a tie looking at the camera. It never looks different. It never tells you what it's going to be about. He uses his title to tell you what it's about. So counterintuitive, but it works. Now, he gets hundreds of thousands of views per video, but I want you to understand that he does that by simply talking to the camera. It looks the same every single day. He gives very important information about his authority. He has built authority, people trust him, and he has products around that with his tax products. Now, if he can do this with the way that he shows up, look at this. This is crazy. With the way he just shows up, looks at the camera and starts talking and just gives his 10, 15-minute analysis of what's going on in the world today, you can do it with your niche. And my last example is Poverty to Paradise, one of my favorite YouTube channels ever. So Poverty to Paradise is a woman who has left her corporate job to live on cruises. So she spends most of the year on cruises, and she shows you how she does that, how she pays for it, how she gets discounts, how she goes to different ports and does fun things. She gives you tips and tricks about going on cruises just normally for a week or two, but she also shows you how to completely transform your life if you want to do what she's doing. What I love about her is that she's making enough money to pay for her lifestyle. She often talks about how her YouTube channel pays for her ability to do what I just described. And what's incredible, let me just show you a little bit of what this is like. So I'll play it for you.
So here's your dilemma. You're on a tight budget like me, and you're deciding whether or not you want to splurge on a specialty restaurant on Carnival Venezia. I cruised on this ship for 2 months on 5 back-to-back cruises.
You see, she doesn't even have a microphone. She's just walking you through with her phone. She's just talking to you like you're in the room, like you're a friend of hers. Very, very natural. She just happens to have done something to build her authority in a very interesting place. And she has cool background. Sometimes she's just sitting in her room. Sometimes she's overlooking the water. Sometimes she's walking around. But either way, it's just her on a phone. If you can record yourself on the phone, you can do this. A small creator with a few views can make a big income. If you are a service provider, you can get big clients from a few views. And your sales cycle will be even shorter than you expect because your videos are doing the sales for you. So by the time they reach you or reach your sales page, they've already convinced themselves they want this. If you're an expert, you build authority and you can charge more. So how do you become an expert? By doing. Just a few views can still produce income. And it's more important that you have high quality of what your content is than high expense of the production. People are not looking for influencers anymore. They want someone real, someone helpful, and someone consistent. Today, the expert is more valuable than the entertainer, and that's where you come in. Here's a big question. Do you have competition? The correct answer is yes. Everybody has competition. If you don't think you have competition, you have not researched enough. But here is the cool thing. You're probably going to win because most people don't show up, or if they do show up, they're not consistent. And if they're consistent, they're not doing it right in some other way. And you're learning right now, and with my other teachings, how you can do it right. The basic flow for a video on YouTube is really simple. You want to pay attention to a few key things that most people don't think about. And once you do this, you unlock opportunity. Now, for years, I was doing this wrong. I figured out a few things and it has started to work out in my favor. So the first thing you want to think about is the video concept itself. What is your video going to be about? If you don't know that yet, you have to stop everything else because that research that you do, the idea farming that you could do with AI or just something that you have on your mind, that part is so important. And then the actual research and determining what you're going to talk about. Super important, of course. Then you have to care about when you're filming it, the hook, the first few seconds of the video that gets people in, hooks them in, and helps with retention. Because the more of a video someone watches, the more of a good signal that is to YouTube's algorithm. And then YouTube will help it get out to more people. So in other words, it's better to have somebody watching 5 minutes of an 8-minute video than 20 seconds of an 8-minute video. That's going to help get it in front of more people who then have more of a chance to get to know you. But before you even write the hook or get everything ready to film, you're going to do something that most YouTubers do not know how to do. And that is you're going to get your packaging first. So once you have the concept, you're going to put together the title and the thumbnail picture for your YouTube video before you press record. And this is where I used to get it wrong. I used to put all this effort into my videos, and then I would slap together a Canva thumbnail that was a very basic picture from a template, not even changed that much. And I would make some title that I thought might work. And it might be super long or very weird and have nothing to do with the video itself, or maybe very like, this person said this. These are not good ideas for your packaging. You want your packaging to be crisp. You want that thumbnail to be in your face. It stops the scroll. Think about how many thumbnails you see on YouTube when you sign in. How many different ideas and options do you get to choose from? You're going to have a second to choose. So your viewer is going to have a second to decide, is that thumbnail catching me? And then does the title reinforce it, or does it just repeat it? You don't want the title and the thumbnail to just repeat each other. You want them to accentuate each other and complement each other. You're also going to have your basic YouTube setup, like what makes you comfortable. For me, I have my own home office. It's just one of our bedrooms. And then I'll put my laptop here on a desk that can go up and down, goes up when I get ready to film. I just use my laptop, regular Zoom camera, and I'm just talking into a mic. Now I do have this mic. This is probably the most expensive part other than the laptop, of course, but you could do this on a phone. You could do this however you'd like. You just need to be comfortable. So it's like, I'm comfortable and I know I can do this over and over again. So having it at home really helps me. If I were to have it somewhere else, it's actually why I don't go into a studio that I do have access to. It's just like getting into the car, going to the studio, coming back. It just slows down that inspiration that you might get. So you're going to set up your space, your workspace. And then you need to know that every video should have a job. Every video should have its own job. So you want a video that teaches something. If it can teach one basic thing that makes your audience and your viewer feel a little bit smarter after 8 minutes, 10, 20, 30 minutes, then it's doing its job. And you want to have a call to action to that end. You don't just want to have a video for people to consume and then go to the next thing. You want to say out loud what you want from that video. Do you want people to sign up to something for free? Do you want them to come to your school? Do you want them to look at a freebie that you have? Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to see the next video? There's a call to action that you should get used to saying in every single video. I even say, subscribe to this channel, which you should do right now. Subscribe to this channel if you're seeing this on YouTube. When you subscribe, like, and comment on my videos, it helps me get this to more people, and that's what I want to happen. So I'm going to say it. I'm not afraid to say what I want the person to do. So you have to get comfortable with that. The more comfortable you are with asking, the more money you will make. Now, speaking of the ask, I have something that is going to make this entire process even easier for you. It'll help you get there the fastest. It'll give you all the clarity that you need. And yes, if you use it correctly, it will help you make money. And the only way that I can guarantee that it'll help you make money, because I can't make guarantees on here on YouTube, but the only way I can guarantee is if you actually do the work that this tells you to do. And I have trained the most sophisticated AI tool that I've ever trained. It's called Authority X Pro. Authority X Pro is like having me as your sales coach, your consultant, and your accountability partner 24 hours a day. And you get it for a fraction of what it costs to speak with me one time. There are even monthly payments that you can make if the full year is not something you can do right now. So I'm very excited about it. Daisy is in my Inner Circle program. She pays me thousands of dollars per year. But Daisy also has Authority X Pro. So last year, I helped Daisy make about $10,000 in a few days. Really awesome. But we had been hitting a wall. So she started using Authority X Pro the moment it was available to Inner Circle members. And within 4 days, she had made $3,500. And then in 7 days, she'd made $6,000 just from starting, using it, doing exactly what it told her to do. She is now on her way to another 10,000 in just a couple of weeks. And more importantly, she's having such a great time. How much money have you made so far?
So when I text you this morning, it was 5,500. Right now it's 6,000.
I'm gonna fall out the chair. Hold on, let me get the chair ready to fall out of. You say $6,000 in less than a week?
Yes. Paid.
Another Inner Circle member named Chen Li, She was exhausted after being in Taiwan and flying to Los Angeles to attend my event. And she is also struggling to fill her paid live cohort. She was selling tickets that were about $500 each, and she couldn't fill the cohort. Now, we'd worked together just for a few weeks prior, and we'd started getting things going, but she was hitting a wall. So she started using Authority X Pro the same time that Daisy started, and she was able to fill her cohort in 48 hours. It's so, so amazing. And as you can see with all of these testimonials and more on the way, people are finding clarity and speed and real answers and accountability in a way that they have not in the past. Because here's the thing. I'm really good at this. I know how to make money and I know how to help other people make money. But I'm only human and I'm only one person. And I can't be everywhere at the same time. As much as I would love to be, I can't. So even the people who are in Inner Circle, who pay me thousands of dollars a year, who have my phone number and can text me anytime, they have to wait days for me to respond because that's part of how they can do that. You, if you have Authority X Pro, you do not have to wait days or hours for me to respond. You get it within 60 seconds. You get a response. And then you can do what it tells you to do and get to work. So, so cool. I'm so excited about it. So it'll help you with your YouTube channel and your videos. It'll help you with your plan every single day if you want. Every single session you have with Authority X Pro is valued at about $1,400 US. So imagine you use it once per week. We're talking $6,000 a month of help for a fraction of that cost. Imagine if you use it every day. We're talking $500,000 in coaching and consulting and the best accountability partner you could ever ask for a fraction, for just a little bit of money every month. So cool. Authority X Pro will help you build your offer. It'll help you figure out who to sell it to. It'll help you sell, and it'll help you on the day-to-day maintenance of delivering that offer. So as a reminder, you're not going to use YouTube to become a YouTuber. You're going to use YouTube as lead generation to leverage your business and leverage your offer, just like I have. YouTube helped me get more than 25,000 members in my Your First 5K free school membership. And we're having a blast in there. And there's some people who have upsold. So I've made quite a bit of money because of what YouTube has been able to help me do. So think of YouTube as business first, content second. It is your media company. It is your content machine that is meant to help you with your business, to grow your business in a way like no other. Speaking of Authority X Pro, AI in general, AI is not meant to replace you. It's meant to assist you. And when you're doing it really well, like Authority X Pro, it's meant to be like a co-founder. So you bring the human element to it, the experience, the perspective, the opinions, the taste. And AI provides speed and clarity and structure. Inside of Your First 5K classroom, there is an AI for Business 101 module that you can study from for free. And you even get this very powerful tool that I have. I made this AI tool called the AI Genie. And what it does is it helps you build beautiful websites for local businesses. And then you can take those websites to the businesses and sell them. And members in Your First 5K have sold these websites for $300 to $500 already, multiple times. So that's just some fun thing to get started with if you want to. I want you to think about two important words: consistency and compounding. At the beginning stages of what you build, it's going to feel slow and it might even feel invisible. But over time, with consistency and that compounded effort, you will start to feel momentum and growth. But you only get there if you keep going. Do not stop when it's just about to get really, really cool. If you're 50 plus and you're thinking it's too late for you to start an online business or to start on YouTube, I'm here to tell you that you couldn't be further from the truth here. you probably know more tech stuff than I do, or the people who are under 40 do, because in the 70s and 80s is when a lot of women and people of color were learning tech and then were pulled out of it. You remember that time? I've been told stories about this time. So actually, AI and school and these platforms, Lovable, all of these are actually native to people who are a little bit older. It's not too late for you to have your second act and to live the life that you've always wanted and that you truly deserve. That's why I make videos like this and content and curriculum, because I want you to have options. And hey, if you don't feel technical, the cool thing is that AI makes things simpler. So you can have one tool that you go to, like a Chat GPT or maybe Lovable or maybe Claude, and you go to this one place, or even Authority X Pro, and that's what you hang out with. And it helps you more than almost anything else. You don't have to learn every new model and every platform. I certainly don't. You just learn one or two that really fit you and align with you. And then you just use it a lot. That's the hack. You use it every day and then you get used to it. And it becomes like having a calculator or having email. You may think that you're too early. Like maybe you're not too late, but you're too early. Like, I don't know anything. I haven't done this before. I'm going to get behind. You're not too late. You're not too early. You will figure this out. Think about everything you have already accomplished. And if you have trouble thinking about it, I want you to pause this video and write down a few things. You get out of bed today. You probably got some kids or somebody you're taking care of, older adults. You got somebody where they needed to be today. You got yourself together today, which is hard to do. And you also probably have made a lot of money for someone else. That's what I want you to think about. If you've worked for anybody, for a corporation, for a small business, for anybody, you have helped them make money, or else they wouldn't have paid you. I'm going to say it again. If you have worked at all in your life, you have helped someone else make money, or else they would not have invested the money in you to begin with. So you do know how to make money. You just simply are used to making money for other people. And hey, nobody's ever fully ready. You just walk out on faith. You do the thing. You do it enough that it becomes more natural to you. And then eventually you get kind of good at it. So you have two options. You can keep guessing and doing this by yourself, or you can follow a system and a guide to help you do it. And I want to remind you that you already have everything you need. You already have it. You just don't know exactly where to pull from and how to apply it. But the good news is I do, and I can help you do that. You don't need more information. You need to take more action. You've been working on this for years, just for someone else, building someone else's dream. Now it's time for you to get paid what you're really worth for your talents and your skills and your experience. The day is today.